In this vid, I'm going to be doing a review of Pokemon2215's Reshiram deck. Earlier, I did a review of his Emboar deck, and he says what he's done is changed up the Emboar to make it more of a Reshiram. So let's take a look at the changes he's made. This is Pokemon2215's Emboar deck. Pretty typical except for the Palkia legend. And what he's done is made a few changes, obviously increasing the number of Reshiram, to make his Reshiram deck. He's running quite a few different starters, one Cleffa, one Smeargle, and one Manaphy. But I think you can go ahead and drop the Smeargle and the Cleffa and just stick with one Manaphy. I would throw in one Tyrogue in order to get the donks of other people's baby Pokemon, and just leave that one Manaphy and one Tyrogue as your starting Pokemon. You have a one Undaunted Rotom. This can be great for swapping out your prizes in case you think something critical is prized, or for using Plasma Arrow for only one electric energy to snipe your opponent's bench on anything that has energy attached to it. You run two Reshiram. Since this is a deck that's going to be revolving around Reshiram, I would increase this line to 3. You pair it with the ability Emboar that allows you to attach as many fire energy per turn as you like. You run a 2-2-2 line of this, and I think that's perfect. You run a 2-1-1 Magnezone. If you're able to trade for one more Magnezone, I would increase that to a 2-1-2, just in case your one Magnezone is knocked out or prized. However, if it is prized, having that Rotom in there to try and get it out would be great. You still have the 1-1 Palkia legend. I think you can go ahead and drop it. Your deck is strong enough with Reshiram, Emboar, Magnezone, and now Rotom as attackers that you don't need to add the Palkia and Dialga for the extra 2 prizes. By the time you get it out, use the attack, and then it gets knocked out, your opponent's going to be getting those 2 prizes back anyways, and while it may slow them down a little bit, I don't think it's going to slow them significantly. Taking a look at your energy line, if you decide to drop the Palkia legend, you can go ahead and drop the 5 metal. That would allow you to increase your fire and increase your electric. Ideally, increasing your electric to maybe 4 to have a total of 14 in the deck, and leaving the fire at 10 would probably be a solid play. Your line of trainers and supporters is great, especially compared to what they were just a few weeks ago with your Emboar deck. You run 1 Twins, just in case you're falling behind. Your draw power is excellent, running the safe 1 Juniper, 3 Sage, and 2 Oak's New Theory. If you can, I might increase that Oak's New Theory to 3, but again, that's just a personal choice. I really like having more hand refreshers in my deck, but that's just the way I like to play. Since you run Magnezone Prime, you can also run Judge, which can potentially hurt you, reducing your hand size down to 4, but as long as you have a Magnezone out, you can easily recover. You only run 1 Junk Arm. I'd recommend that you increase that to 3, if not 4, because you're going to be throwing away at least 3 cards with Sage's Training every time you use it, and Junk Arm can help you reuse those if they're trainers. You also only run 1 Rare Candy, but you run 2 Stage 2 Pokemon. So I would recommend using 2 Rare Candy if you can increase your line of Junk Arm, and if you can't increase your line of Junk Arm, then I would recommend 3 Rare Candy instead. Your recovery support is great. You run 2 Flower Shop, although I think you can drop this down to 1 and be safe, because you run the 1 Revive in order to get those Reshiram back out, and you also run Energy Retrieval to help get those energy. So if you're running Sages, you could easily just throw away the energy and use Retrieval to get them back, and even use your Junk Arm to reuse the Retrieval. You run 2 Collector. I would recommend increasing this to 3 Collector, or adding in a Dual Ball if you have it. While it doesn't let you search out for evolutions, you can always use either one of those, and then use Communication to throw in something that you didn't need for the evolution card that you did want. And that way you'll be running through a little more of your deck and have a better chance of pulling what you need next turn. You run the 1 Switch, which I think is great, being able to reuse that with Junk Arm if needed. You also run 2 Plus Power, but I think you can reduce that down to 1. I don't see many situations where you're going to need to use Plus Power. You're already hitting for 120 with Reshiram, and if you're coming up against another Reshiram or Zekrom, you can always reuse those Plus Power with Junk Arm. Another card I think you'll be safe in dropping is your One Seeker. In this format, people are really looking to be able to knock out your Pokemon in one hit, so I don't think you're going to have an opportunity to retreat and Seeker up your Pokemon as much as you think you might. Again though, that's just a suggestion, and if you're finding that your opponent isn't able to knock you out in one hit very easily, then Seeker might be a good play. Those are all the suggestions I have for your deck. I think this is a huge improvement over your Emboar deck and has a really good shot of doing well in tournament. So thank you for submitting it. If anyone else would like their deck reviewed, just PM me the list and let me know if you would like it to be in a video review, which will take a few weeks to do, or a blog review, which I can do in a couple of days.